G'day everyone, welcome back to another edition of Guvs Hero Review videos. Today we are going to be checking out another Season 2 hero. Specifically, we're going to take a look at the 5-star legendary purple hero, Flak, the Neon City Blaster Master. So Flak is available for summons, as we saw, from the Neon City portal, which rolls around once every 4 weeks. It does have reasonably okay odds in terms of this game, trash odds overall for the game, but it is one of the better ones in the game. So it comes in at 1% for a featured hero and 0.6% chance for a legendary non-featured hero. So what this translates to is if you were to do 100 summons in this portal, you would have a combined probability of 63.3% to get either of the two 5-star featured heroes, so one or the other. And then you'd also have a 45.2% probability of getting one of the unfeatured legendary heroes. Could be any of them, could be a good one, could be a bad one. They're all equally as likely. Flak himself, he was added to the game in June 2024 as part of SGG's ongoing drip feed of new heroes into existing portals. It's a strategy they've been using for ages in both their games, PuzzleCombat and Empires and Puzzles. Sort of just keeps the players summoning in portals month on month on month. In terms of his artwork, I'm just going to flip over to my roster and we can take a quick squeaky peek. So there is Flak's artwork. So he is a blaster master, so it's only fitting that he's got a giant stuff-off blaster rifle. I don't know what kind of gun you would classify that as. It looks like a sawn-off shotgun, but a little bit more futuristic than that. Got some body paint going on, not the best armor, so we'll have to wait and see if that translates to how his defense stat works. But yeah, that's his artwork. Feel free to pause it if you wish. Otherwise, let's carry on over back to the portal. So he is a member of the corporate family, which means that Flak is granted a 50% chance, a chance to steal 50% of the healing and armor effects that are applied by enemy special skills during a battle. So specifically, there is a 15, 20, 25 or 30% chance if there are 2, 3, 4 or 5 unique heroes from the corporate family in a battle. There is also a defense increase that we can see down the bottom there, which is a 3, 6, 9 or 12% increase, which comes from those same number of unique heroes. So notably, it does have to be unique heroes. You can't bring along 2 copies of Flak and trigger it. It's got to be 2 different heroes, like combining Flak with Sato or Flak with Mantis as 2 different examples. In terms of his personal stats, Flak comes in with 715 attack, 766 defense, and 1559 HP. So again, there is a skewing towards his defense and HP stats. So who knew it? But body armor, body paint is the best form of armor you can get. But yeah, it's a little bit of a skewing going on there. His stats are slightly reduced compared to some of the brand new spanking new heroes in the game. If we find one of the portal troopers, you can see they're 740 plus. Whereas Flak comes in at 734. So a tiny bit reduced in his overall stat distribution. Nothing compared to some of the old heroes by any means. His charge speed is 52 speed, which is average and requires 10 tiles to charge, or 5 ghosted tiles. The speed break requires +6 to get yourself up to 58 speed, which you can do using either of the purple speed guns in the game. You've got the +6 Pearl Convex as a 5-star gun, or the +9 Explosion B90, which is also a 5-star weapon. A double break needs +13, which you can't actually do, even if you combine the speed node with his +9 speed gun. So for that reason, the speed node on his class tree is pretty well irrelevant. There is no need to pick it up whatsoever. On the topic of his class, Flak is a demolitions class hero, which means he has the chance to shell shock the enemy by removing buffs from the target whenever dealing damage. The removal of buffs will also trigger an increase of 15% damage per each buff removed, with a flat increase of 50% damage from normal damage, so tile damage as an example. So personally, I love the Demolitions perk. It's effectively a free opportunity to dispel buffs from the enemies without needing to charge any special skills. It also removes all the buffs from the enemies. It doesn't just remove them one by one if they've got 5 buffs actives, 1 shell shock, bang, all 5 buffs gone. So personally, I go +1 on most of my Demolitions class heroes just to activate that chance for the shell shock to happen. In terms of a emblem tree, I just should go by class, and we'll just go down to Demolitions. So in terms of a path, I personally would go an attack path to increase his overall damage. And so what this looks like on a hero is it looks something like what I've done here on Accent. So you ignore Accent, this is now Flak. So yeah, we're picking up all of the nodes which have got attack on them. So there aren't actually any choices where you've got to choose between 2 nodes that have got attack on them. It is just a case of if the branch has got attack on it, bang, that's your choice to make. I would stop at +18. I would not go any further. As I said, that +19 node, the speed node, completely irrelevant on Flak. So I would not bother with that. So where's a hero that doesn't have it on it, so we can showcase how it would actually look. So yeah, we'd go attack nodes, attack nodes, attack nodes, pick up the last attack nodes, and we would stop at +18. As I said, +19, not at all necessary because the speed node is not going to improve him or give him any charge breaking at all. So yeah, that's the path I would take. Heading back over to the portal, and we can take another look at his card and his special skill specifically. So his special skill is titled Scrap Metal Blast, and at level 10 skill and 52 charge speed, it will deal 500% damage to the target with the ability to scale all the way up to 735% damage, depending on how much charge the targeted enemy has. It will then also reduce the charge of the target by 100%, and then heal the caster for 50% of the damage dealt. Finally, the target will not be able to gain charge for 3 turns, which is an effect that cannot be cleared. So quite a bit going on there and some very impressive numbers, but let's break it down a little bit, starting with the direct damage. So damage itself is easy to calculate, but difficult to consistently calculate due to the variability in the damage calculation. So there's a lot of factors that feed into it. How we can normalize it though is we calculate a hero's attack power, which is just their attack stat, 715, multiplied by the percentage in their skill. So in the case of Flak, you can see here he comes out with an attack power of 3,575. When we divide that by the number of tiles to charge, we get an attack power per tile, which is a speed normalized number. In the case of Flak, that comes out at 358, which is enough to rank him as number 3 of the base damage dealing purple snipers in the game. So interestingly, that in spite of his impressive numbers up front, Flak is not actually the highest base damage dealer in purple snipers. He's not even the second highest. Those honors go to Cruise and to Sure Shot variant. They come in at number 1 and number 2 with 407 and 363 respectively. There are a lot there that Flak is obviously better than. You can see them all listed on this image. You've got Mallet at 338, Amethyst at 334, you've got Quattro 299, some other ones down further, Siegfried 243, Bunny Hop 233, Co-Star 217. There's a lot of options in purple, 17 to be precise, and Flak comes in at number 3 of them. The other interesting thing with Flak on this graph is that even with that maximum damage of 735%, he still doesn't take out line honors for the most direct damage dealing purple sniper. That goes to Amethyst when she is both in stealth mode with a 46% attack buff. So, you know, Flak, by all means, is a stupid amount of damage. Don't get me wrong, okay? You hit someone with 100% charge, they are jumping all the way up to getting 526 attack power per tile worth of damage. It's a massive amount of damage. The only thing that's worse than that is Amethyst, and it just shows how stupidly massive her damage is compared to her charge speed. So, yeah. Flak, very, very good hero, alright? Don't get me wrong, don't take anything else out of this. Stupidly good damage dealing. So yeah. Moving on from the damage to some of the secondary effects, there's 2 lines which I'm going to target simultaneously, which are both related to charge control. So specifically, it is the 3rd dot point, which is reduces the charge of the target by 100%, and then the 5th one, which is that the target cannot gain charge for 3 turns. So this combination of 2 effects is very, very powerful. Not only does it reset a hero's charge count back to 0%, but it then actively prevents them from gaining charge for a guaranteed additional 3 turns. All right, so the bonus of it is that it is uncleansable, so they're stuck at 0% charge for 3 turns without gaining any new charge. So very, very powerful combination, particularly because you're combining it onto the skill of a hero who is already the 2nd or 3rd best purple sniper available. All right, so the wording, I will just clarify a little bit. The wording is a bit unclear. It says it reduces the charge of the target by 100%. That's not true, all right? If it was reduces by 100%, it would go into negative percentages, which is not how it works. It just reduces it by up to 100% or back to 0%. So the better way of saying it would have been if the skill had have read removes all charge from the targeted enemy. That would be a better way of writing it, but they've gone a different route and it is a little bit confusing, or it could be confusing, but it doesn't go into negative, it just goes back to 0%. Simple as that. All right, final part of Flak's skill is the self-healing for damage dealt. So the specific wording is that the caster is healed for 50% of damage dealt. So essentially, on top of all of whatever else is going on in that skill, Flak also acts as a self-healer for the damage that he's dealing. So one thing that should be highlighted is that it is 50% of damage dealt, so not necessarily the number that's calculated, but it is the damage that is dealt to a hero. So what I mean by that is if Flak were to calculate 1,000 damage on a hero, but they've only got 100 HP remaining, the actual damage dealt is only 100. So Flak only gets 50 healing, all right? So that's what the difference is. 50% of damage dealt, it is, in the upper end of the bracket, but it is consistent with other snipers who've got this effect. So Stinger variant has exactly the same effect, 50% of damage dealt. So very, very good effect because he is now not only effectively killing enemies. If he doesn't kill them, he kills their charge. And on top of all of that, he basically takes all of their life force and says, thank you very much, I'm going to heal up, and then carries on as if nothing happened. So overall, Flak is an extremely good hero, okay? He does extremely hefty damage. You've all probably seen how much damage he can kick out by now. He then does a charge cut all the way back to 0%, then puts a charge block on it with the bonus of healing himself as well. So he is probably best suited to attacking situations where you can pick and choose what target you're going to hit in order to ensure you're getting that maximum effect from his skill, either by targeting someone with most charge or by targeting someone who you're going to get a lot of healing back from. All right, so you've got a little bit of ability to pick and choose what you actually need in that situation. All right. The charge stop and charge cut do make him very handy though for the in-game computer, even though it's less skilled, because in that sense, it doesn't really matter who gets hit by the defense team. They're still not gaining charge. Even if it doesn't kill them, it still has an ongoing effect. All right. So equally, Flak, very, very good. I would say best in a part of a larger purple stack as either like with a defense down or elemental defense down hero in order to get maximum damage out with him. However, you can just as easily use him as an off-color hitter as part of a larger color stack because he does fill a damage dealing, a self-healing, and a charge stop sort of role in that team. So yeah, very, very good hero. I would personally and will be typically running him with a defense down hero just to improve his damage output even further, but yeah, he's kind of a good enough hero that you can use him in almost any situation, and he's gonna be pretty good in that situation. So for Flak's grading, I am gonna grade him as an A grade on War and Raid attack. So pretty high starting off, and that's just because he can do just about anything in an attacking team. For War Machines, I'm gonna give him a B+. The main reason he's staying so high on his grading is because of that charge block. It is particularly handy for these effects, particularly because there's very limited options in purple for charge stop and charge block and that sort of thing. So very useful for war machines to stop their special skill from coming along. For events, I'm going to give him a C+. It is a massive reduction, but he's not a great option for eventing. He's a single target only, even though he does a lot of damage, but he's just not very good for competition in the events. Probably usable for completing the events, but not very good for competing in them, if that makes sense. For war and raid defenses, I'm going to give him an A-. I probably would put him in a wing position. It's generally where I tend to put snipers, although because of his damage output and that self-heal, he could very much work and does very much work in the flank position as well. So you can go in either spot, not a tank though, by any means. So war and raid defenses, A-. In the 3 tournament settings, in Bloody Battles, he does get a little bit of a knockback. I'm going to give him an A- on attack and a B+ on defense. The main reason for this drop back is because he does lose the self-heal aspect, but it is only a minor drop off. There is a very good argument that he could actually stay the same because the other parts of his skill are so good to start with. For the buff boosters, I'm going to give him a B+ and a B. There's not really anything that he's doing in the buff booster tournaments. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to give him an A- on attack for buff boosters and a B+ on defense, because the same argument that I was applying above still applies on him here. He is still a very good hero, even though he's not giving out buffs, and the fact that he will benefit from other buffs and still be kicking out stupid amounts of damage does mean that he can retain a lot of his grading. So A- for attack and a B+ for buff booster defense. On the charged attacks, though, I am going to bump him up higher, if that's even possible, because he does go from 52 average speed up to 65 speed. So I'm going to give him an A+ for charged attacked teams and an A grade for his charged attack defense grade. So overall, what that comes out as being an A- for his attack grade and an A- for his defense grade. So very, very good hero. All right. The only failing that he really has in the grading is on eventing, which is pretty minor in the scheme of things. So yeah, that concludes the content that I have for this review of Flak. As always, these are just my personal opinions on these heroes. I do love hearing your thoughts and feedback on them, so please do drop down into the comments section of the video and leave me a note. I love hearing your thoughts, and I try to read and respond to as many of them as I can. If you did enjoy the video and found it to be useful, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel and all of that, but most importantly, share the video around, because chances are, if this sort of thing's useful for yourself, it's also going to be useful to the people you play with as well. Thank you once again for tuning in and joining me for this review. I do hope I will see you again soon, but until then, good luck, stay safe, and happy gaming. Cheers, bye!